Can you lend me a hand as I walk through this land of confusion? If we give to each other, then there's nothing to take. Let's live life for the moment before it slips away.
You're still muted, Jillian.
See, okay. So just once again, how this show has been plagued with problems since its inception, because this show, the first broadcast, was on the first day of lockdown.
It's true. March 16th.
And now we have experienced issues every single show.
No, so I don't think we're plagued. I think we're blessed. Right. So, I always say you should never have bad days. Right. And I always say this, and, everyone has good stuff and bad stuff happening to them. And it's minimizing the good or the bad stuff and maximizing the good stuff that matters. And the way you minimize the bad stuff when it comes to Last Life Ever is you recognize that every single week we figure out one less thing to screw up.
So last week we had a show with Corey Kirby, and it was like Corey was saying some really amazing stuff, but the broadcast, for lack of a better term, was somewhat, it was challenging because his internet connection wasn't very good.
That's right.
And our guest today was supposed to be Mike Burke, who I reached out to Mike. I asked him to be on the show. I asked him to be on the show months ago because I find Mike to be a fascinating person. He was a zookeeper at the San Diego Safari Park, and then retired from that job and started a dog training business. And I've seen all over Facebook people adopting dogs now that they're in quarantine. They have time to take care of a dog. They're lonely and they're filling that void with a dog. And so I thought, what better way than to have Mike give us some tips on how to train that new pup or your old pup. And he got on about 30 minutes ago, and his internet connection was absolutely terrible. And so we wanted you to actually hear the show, and we knew you would not be able to hear the show if you could not hear Mike and if his internet was bad. So we're going to reschedule Mike for another time. But don't worry, we have other content to bring you because we always...
Look at this.
This looks awesome. Oh, us lamenting about all of our problems.
I think that comment actually came through when the intro was playing. It made it look really good. That was from Mary, but she's in the group, so hers is blocked. And then we had this comment.
Happy lockdown
anniversary.
Well, that's it, and that's the thing. We're going to talk about things in lockdown, and I know a lot of you are coming out of lockdown. I have a very particular opinion on this, and I'll get to that in a second. But I know a lot of you are coming out of lockdown, but a lot of you, like in places like California, aren't going to be coming out of lockdown anytime soon, or New York City. And so we're going to talk about that today. So Jeffy Jeff, you, on the other hand, are in a state that has come out of lockdown or is coming out of lockdown. So tell us what you have done since you've started coming out of lockdown.
Oh, geez. You know what? I haven't done that much. Okay. But yes, it is definitely loosening restrictions here in Tennessee. Look, Brandy says hi. She's in the state, by the way. She's in Georgia. Even less restrictions than Tennessee. That one's been kind of controversial on the news lately. But anyway, so I've gone out a few times. I've been out to eat 3 times now. In the last week, which is a lot for most people. It's not much for me. I typically go out to eat 19 meals a week, give or take a little bit.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I would go out more often than that, but I usually don't eat breakfast a couple days a week, and so that sort of balances it out to 19. 7 times 3 is 21, minus 2, 19. Just in case you were wondering about the math there.
That doesn't sound like it's really good for your diet, Bet, but we'll get to that in a second.
Well, it's definitely not, which is why I need to be on diet, Bet. But here's the thing. Quick quarantine side note. If we were talking about me going out to eat all the time, I would not have gained 4% of my body weight in the last. Somebody just look at this comment. I think this is about these comments right here. Only 19, and that seems low. And you know who that came from. I'm pretty much going to guarantee. Oh, it's not. So that's actually from Travis. My friend Travis actually put those 2 comments up. So hi, Travis. Thanks for tuning in to our disastrous show. But you know,
a disaster, yeah, because we need your audience participation.
Yeah, so, no, we love it. And actually, if you guys want your names to show up, you're gonna have to click to register with or just click over to like one of our personal pages and make the comments there. So then you can be cool. Like Brandy, who hasn't gone out to eat in a year and a half. So, yeah, I haven't been out to eat since lunchtime today. I went for lunch. I went and I had my favorite breakfast meal at the cafe I like to go to, which is 2 eggs over medium, bacon, and rye toast.
That is not good for your diet, Bet.
Well, I mean, it was delicious. I mean, there's that, right? Look, I even have this awesome picture of my breakfast because I was that excited about it. I sent this photo of my breakfast to my father-in-law to make him jealous because he really likes their bacon and eggs there. So that's what my breakfast lunch looked like. It was very weird though in the restaurant. I actually kind of I kind of want to know how they're doing because, you know, this restaurant, I wish I had a picture of it. They're like only maybe like 10, 12 booths total. And they had every other one blocked off because we're at 50% capacity in restaurants here. So they maybe had like 6 places you could sit in the restaurant, which makes me think that they can't be doing like huge volume. So anyway, that's.
Well, I don't think any, you know, and that's the thing I noticed on. I was going to go order Uber Eats the other day, and then I thought better of it. But I was going to order Uber Eats the other day, and I noticed that they're giving it so that you can like give a donation to a. Oh, look at that. When's the last time you took an Uber? I can't remember, but I probably when I was with Jeff in Nashville. But
so you're saying you haven't taken an Uber since the fall? I find that unlikely.
I mean, I guess I could look at my Uber account and figure it out. I'm sure I probably have taken one since.
Well,
yeah, no, because I went to San Francisco right before the lockdown.
Yeah, so I haven't taken an Uber since right before I went to Africa. Well, no, actually, I took one right after I got back because we had the welcome home party. So that was
right,
like
okay. So you go out, you go to this cafe. What's the name of the cafe? Let's give it a shout out.
It's called Track's End.
We'll give a shout out to the 7 people.
So Track's End, man, it is such a ridiculous place. I kind of wish I could, like, I'm going to Google it right now and see if they have any photos that I can show you. Because Track's End is really interesting because it's where I wrote most of my book, my book that I told you about. That's, you know, I didn't tell anyone else about until just now, apparently. Okay, cool. I've got a picture of Track's End to share with us. And I have to add it to the stream. So there's the Track's End restaurant. And what you can't see here's a picture of the inside. So see how it's just like they have the bar area, a couple of tables, and then a couple of booths. It's super small. Well, they had to take all their bar stools out because you're not allowed to have bar stools right now. So this area right here is just posts that you could fall on and impale yourself. Yeah. And then there's this middle table is gone, and then every other booth is there. So let's see if they have any other good pictures. Their food is really good. They're open 24 hours. I think this actually might be my photo on Google there. It's a really crazy place. I love it. But look, here's a good one. So it's attached to a hotel. Mm-hmm. And this Track's End has been open the whole time for takeout because they work for the railroad, and the hotel is completely rented by the railroad because it's right near the big railroad depot here in Chattanooga. And, we're big on that, as Jillian knows from singing our song regularly. Which, by the way, how's the lessons going?
I'm going to start this week. So for those of you that don't know what Jeff's talking about, I have committed to taking the Christina Aguilera masterclass on Masterclass and learning how to sing so that I don't embarrass myself singing like I did on the Old Fashioned Real Estate Show, where I attempted to sing Chattanooga Choo Choo and forgot all the words.
I wish I had that video to share right now, but I wasn't prepared. But anyway, the Tracks End, the railroad rents the whole hotel. The hotel owns the restaurant. Part of their contract is that the restaurant has to be open 24 hours a day. So they don't actually need to make money. They just hang out there. I do feel bad for my friend Autumn, who works there. So Autumn, shout out to you if you're listening. She doesn't have Facebook, so she's probably not listening. So
is Autumn's not the grilled cheese?
Yes, that's the same person.
So now you open that door. So now you have to tell people about your coronavirus grilled cheese.
Okay, look, so I'll tell you what. So this is Autumn eating a grilled cheese at the Tracks End, right? Okay, so there she is. Hopefully she's not mad for me putting her on screen. So we'll only leave her up for a minute. Autumn and I have, because I go there a lot. And like I said, I was writing a book there. So I would go there because there's never anyone there. And I would get there at 7 or 8 in the morning. And I would just write for the whole day. And her shift is 7 to 3. So a lot of times I'd be there her entire shift, 7 to 3. And I would just be drinking coffee. And I always gave her a good tip and everything. But so we got to be kind of friendly. And anyway, so the other day I pulled up before the lockdown was over here in Tennessee, I pulled up and I ordered food just so I could stop in and see how everything was going. And I ordered a grilled cheese with bacon on it. And she was like, I've never tried a grilled cheese with bacon on it. It sounds really weird. And I'm like, it's delicious, right? And I'm like, you want a bite? And so she took a bite of my grilled cheese and handed it back to me. And Jillian thought that was really, really funny and gross. I thought it was completely normal. I mean, it's not like there's a global pandemic going on.
My husband doesn't like sharing food with his own children.
Well, for what it's worth, I also don't like sharing food with your children. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying this is the emoji for that, in case anyone's wondering.
Anytime you guys want to say something offensive, but you want to be exonerated from saying said offensive,
this does not work.
We've determined that you can just lift up your hands and say, I'm just saying, and totally exonerate yourself from any wrongdoing.
That doesn't actually work, right? If you say something really terrible and you're like, that doesn't actually solve the problem. If I'm like, man, Jillian, you're kind of ugly. I'm just saying, you're going to be offended by that. You're going to be like, what?
It does soften the blow,
Oh, hey, look at this. That's really funny, Jason. Sorry, Jason put a comment up that would make no sense to anyone else. But look, someone actually read our description.
Favorite movie to watch over and over, Harry Potter series. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that. But before we get to that, I want to, so you're in a state that's opening up. You're going back out, eating your 19 meals a week.
Well, no, I've only had 3. And it's been
Monday. So
no. The first one was last Tuesday. So it's been a full week. So I was going to go out on last Monday. It was my birthday, but we had this thing called The Last Life Ever on. So I had to stay home and work on that. But I went out Tuesday, actually, and I had fried chicken. This is by the way, if you're ever in Chattanooga, there's this restaurant called Champy's, and they have the best fried chicken and tamales. I know that's a weird combination.
That is so weird.
Yeah, and so
that's very filling.
Oh, super filling. Yeah. So we split it. There was 4 of us, and we split the chicken and tamales. So we didn't eat all of it. In fact, I think there was one other piece of chicken. There was 4 pieces of chicken total, a little bit of potato salad, some baked beans, some coleslaw, and some tamales. So that's what we had. It was delicious. And I think you can kind of see the restaurant was spread out, right? And this is an outside patio area. I've been trying to still like stay sensible, right? Like I don't want to go into like a restaurant and be on top of people. So this is like spread out outside. Yeah. And apparently Brandy, who hasn't been out to eat in a year and a half, thinks that Champy's has the best chicken. So, and she's right about that because it's actually the best chicken. So
here's the funny thing, Jeff, when you and I go back to Nashville, and eventually, and all of us should go to Nashville, and I'm going to make this a thing. We're going to do this. Once we come out of quarantine, we're going to start taking Last Life Ever trips. And one trip I'm going to propose is going to Nashville because that's really where Last Life Ever came together. So it's kind of like,
so we'll have to, so we'll have to go to Jason Aldean's, right? And we'll all get into an Uber. We'll pack into an Uber really small, and we'll all go back from there to the hotel, and then we'll be able to do it.
But I want to talk about the place I went into Nashville before I met up with you, which was called Monell's, I think, and it's right outside of that fried chicken reminded me of it. Yeah, it's Monell's. It's in Nashville. I got to find the picture of this because I'm now dreaming.
Was it Nashville hot chicken? Is that what it was?
No, it wasn't hot chicken. What they do is it's a big, huge mansion. Hold on, here it is.
I found it right here. Actually, I got it on my screen. This is the one. Can you see what I have here? Is this it? Well, we'll just put it up. Is that the one?
No, that's the other one. Hold on. Let me show you mine. Let me show you my screen.
This is not it, huh? Okay. Well, you have to share your screen in order to show it to us.
I'm going to do it right now. So share screen. So we got out of the airport, and Lauren asked the woman at the parking structure in the airport, where should we go to eat? And she goes, you guys should go to Monell's. You're going for an adventure.
Oh, and I think, is it this one that I have on my screen now?
Yes, that's it.
All right, I will share that screen then. This is it right here.
Yes, so that's Monell's, and it's this big, huge, mansion, as you can see. And they've basically changed every room into a dining room with these big, huge, long dining room tables. And we walk in, and it's us three women, right? And three women, and we walk in, and they're like, okay, it's a buffet. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, they didn't explain it's like a family style buffet. So you ever actually move your butt from your seat, they just bring you the food and they just bring it to you. You don't like pick what you're going to eat. They just bring it. So we're coming, the three of us, at the end, they're about to close, and we're coming in, just the three women, and we sit down at this table for 10 people, at least 10 people, and they start bringing us out enough food for 10 people, and it's fried chicken, lasagna, all the southern vegetables you can think of, ribs, cornbread, one thing after another. So I think we have to take a Last Life Ever adventure. We go to Nashville, we get off the plane, we go to Monell's, and then we just figure it out from there.
So, I think if we're going to do that we should probably plan it out a little bit more than just figure it out from there. I think that like just getting off the plane. Also, by the way, if I go to Nashville, I'm definitely not flying. Because it's like a 2-hour drive, and like it would take that long to fly because I'd have to like go through security and all that. But I can pick you up at the airport. So
I'm going to have to fly, but you drive. And I don't know when I'm going to fly, because this leads me back to my other point of what we were talking about before. I think it's great that things are starting to open back up. But like, I'll just say this. I saw how sick my kids got, and I would not want you just don't know how you're going to react to this. And my kids have no pre-existing conditions. They don't have asthma. They don't have any of that. They barely ever go to the doctor. They're fully immunized. And yet they contracted coronavirus in a way that I wouldn't wish on anybody. I think the part that we're not hearing is that people are getting it, going to the hospital, and then there's some kind of recovery period after the fact. So just what I'm saying to you is, do go out, but be safe, because you don't want to get this. You really, really don't want to get this. I promise you, you do not want to get this.
Well, I would agree with that. But
Yeah.
I still think there's a lot of people that believe they want to just get it over with, right? They want to get it and get it done with. And so for some people, that might actually be somewhat rational because some people aren't sick for weeks on end. Right?
No, well, that
Like,
was I'm not gonna that was my thought process. As a matter of fact, I discussed it with one of my clients and we both agreed, like, let's hope like we all get it this week and then we can just get over it. And that's truly what we thought. And we didn't self quarantine in the house. I mean, we quarantined in the house, the entire family, but we didn't take like those measures that we probably should have to prevent the rest of the family from getting it, because we just thought, oh, we'll build within our own home, and it did not go as planned. So just something to keep in mind for anybody out there that's, not afraid. I'm glad you're not afraid, but just still be cautious.
right. Well, and that's what I was saying. Like, so I'm trying to not, that's why I've only gone out to eat a couple of times. I did go to a pool party though. That was pretty fun. No photos of that, but it was just myself, my wife, and one other couple and one other. So it was like 5 of us there. And so that was nice. But it was like at their house, and it was like we just made some lamb chops on the grill and went swimming in the pool because it's super nice out. And my pool's dead. I don't know if I told you this or not, but I have a leak in the line to my pool inside of the concrete. So it's really expensive and impossible to fix.
Say, that sounds spendy.
It does sound spendy. I had somebody out to check on it, and they were there for like 5 minutes, and they were like, yep, you have a leak in the line. I pressurized the line. It doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, what do we do? He's like, you pay me $350 and find someone who can fix it. So that's literally like, so then I call this other guy that was recommended to me, and he's like, yeah, you can come out. It'll be $500 to come out and check. I'm like, well, I already know what's wrong. And he's like, yeah, but we don't know where the leak is. So the way I interpret that is, by the time I get some information about what I need to do, I'll be like $800 in, and I won't have even had anyone do anything to my pool. So right now we're thinking about it. That's what we're doing. We're thinking about it. So anyway, let's move on to the movies, because we had somebody comment about that. So what about you? What's your that's great. A skate park. I was thinking like a garden, like I would just fill it with dirt and like and grow stuff there. So
okay. So what movie do I like to watch over and over and over again? Now it's funny because I'm gonna dovetail on what Brandy said. She said the Harry Potter series. I really liked the Harry Potter series. I loved the Harry Potter books. I thought the Harry Potter books were just like they were so awesome. Like I slowly got into them. And then when I got to book 4, it was like, I couldn't get enough. And I read them with my kids. So we would read them out loud together. And then we got so obsessed. We bought the book and the audiobook. So then we would get in the car anytime we couldn't actually physically read the book and start listening to it every time we got a chance. So we got super obsessed. And then we watched the movies, and the movies were great. I'm not sure, they're super long, so I'm not sure I would watch those over and over again. But a movie that I thought was better than the book, and we did the same thing. We read all the books and then we watched all the movies, me and the kids, was what is that movie? Hunger Games. Have you ever seen Hunger Games?
Oh, I've seen every movie that's ever come out.
What?
Yeah, no, I that's the other thing. Besides going out to eat 19 times a week, I go to the movies 3 times a week.
Do you really?
Yeah, for years I've seen like almost every movie that's come out, because if you go 3 times a week, that's pretty much all the movies. By the way, this comment here from a Facebook user is from my wife. That's why I shared it.
Nope to Garden or
Nope to Garden.
Oh.
Actually, the Better Off Dead might be her too. I'm not actually sure.
So better. Who cares who it is if they don't like? It doesn't matter.
By the way, the Better Off Dead is, I think, what the favorite movie is, and that's from Nancy.
Better Off Dead. Okay, so Derek must quote Better Off Dead once a week. We run around this house going $2 all the time. So, but you know what? Another movie from that era that I will watch like 1,000 times over is Breakfast Club. I love Breakfast Club. And then one day it came on TV or something, and I thought, oh my God, the kids will love this movie. And we started watching it and I forgot how inappropriate it really is. It's not.
Well, your kids are too young for it. So, quick side note, this is also from Nancy.
That I loved.
Yep.
Yeah, he loves that movie. But another movie that I had the kids watch, which was not as inappropriate as Breakfast Club, but is another movie I watched religiously. At one point in time, I think I had it memorized, was Spaceballs.
Really? That's that is very interesting. So I never liked Spaceballs, but I also didn't like Star Wars. Does that make me weird?
They're totally two different movies. And I will tell you right now, I didn't like Star Wars until I was older. I had kids and I started watching them totally differently. And now I love Star Wars. I can't tell you which planet is what, but I have an appreciation for Star Wars. So my 12-year-old just walked into the room, and
we should ask him what movie he likes.
Tyler, what's your favorite movie? What movie would you watch over and what? Oh, he said he would watch Revenge of the Sith episode 3 over.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. So he also loves Star Wars.
Yes. Oh, okay. Nate says Caddyshack. That is a great one too. I have not showed the kids Caddyshack left, but we always reference that one scene whenever my kids are in the pool.
Fair enough. So, side note, when I said earlier I had seen every movie that ever came out, that does not include Caddyshack.
Oh, really? You've never seen Caddyshack?
Yes. And it's sort of intentional now because Caddyshack is like my friend Brian's favorite movie, and it bothers him that I haven't seen it. So sometimes I just don't watch it on purpose now. Even
Godfather. How about that?
I also haven't seen The Godfather, but it's because I hate gangster movies. I know that seems weird, but I really don't like any of the mafia movies like Goodfellas, any of that stuff. It just, for whatever reason, those just never really impressed me. The one I did really like, which is kind of like Spaceballs in a weird sort of way, is The Freshman, which is a mockery of The Godfather with Marlon Brando playing this guy who is a Godfather-like character. So, he's mocking himself essentially, which is hilarious. But in The Freshman, Matthew Broderick takes this job working for Marlon Brando, and Marlon Brando is running some kind of like weird capture and cook up endangered species for really high dollar amounts. It's just kind of ridiculous. So I put this comment up here, by the way, about The Martian. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. Okay. I have not seen The Martian. What movie is that?
So The Martian's Matt Damon.
Oh wait,
Matt Damon on Mars.
I've seen that. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's like Castaway on Mars.
No, that movie is how I educated my children on why potatoes are so important.
Yeah, that's very good science. The book is actually very science-based, like even more than the movie. I really like the book. So the book was written, like, it's a really interesting story about the book. So Andy Weir writes this book and no one will publish it. So he self-publishes it, like Kindle, print on demand kind of self-publishing. And he sells like 100,000 copies of the book, something stupid like that, and then gets picked up by a publishing house because he's selling so many copies. I don't know, it might have been 20,000, but it was a lot of copies for print on demand. And he gets picked up by a publishing house and they sell 300,000 copies in the first printing all at once. It's just super popular. The book is super fast paced. It reminds me of Da Vinci Code, like in that super fast way that Da Vinci Code reads, like really easy to read, but like really sciencey. But it's like it's the story of The Martian. Yeah. And I mean, speaking of books, this is a perfect example of an amazing and beautiful book. So
no, well, you said that, and you said he had this self-published book that he sold 100,000 copies of. And so when it comes out, and it's going to come out soon, we need you all to buy Coronavirus Collective, Messages of Love, Light, and Hope, which is a collection of stories by 25 authors. Jeff and I did not write this ourselves. We just put it together. But this book is a book that will benefit 4 very distinct and important charities that are helping people who have been most devastated by the coronavirus and the shutdown. And we're hoping you guys will buy it when it's available. We'll let you know. We want you to buy it on a very specific date because we're trying to get on the bestseller list. And we're really transparent about that. We are not professionals. We're doing this for charity, and we need your help as much as possible.
Yeah, and this book is so great. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but in case people haven't had a chance to hear about it, basically what it is it's a collection of short stories and essays written in the first 3 weeks of the shutdown by authors from all over the world. There's actually 26 because we added one, so we got a bonus author in there, Jillian. I don't know if you knew that or not, but So it's written by these people, and they're talking about what they're doing to stay productive, to stay healthy, to stay happy, to stay in a positive mood during this first part of the shutdown and during the quarantine. And for me personally, it's made an enormous difference because what it's done is it's really encouraged me to move forward and to start doing some positive things like Diet Bet and Step Bet. Those things, I don't think I'd be doing them right now if it wasn't for this book. But even stuff like, just getting out and just, and I don't mean like getting out and going to the movies or whatever. They're still shut down, by the way, which is kind of sad for me. But I just mean like getting up there and like making sure I'm staying productive and on task. Things like just staying in a positive mental attitude. All that stuff is in there, and it's just chock full of really great tips and tricks. There's even stuff about how to get a better night's sleep. There's stuff about, cooking, how to read poetry. I mean, it's just amazing. If you read this book and you don't find something positive in it, you're not a real person. That's what I would say. That's pretty much it. They're not a real person if that happens.
So look, we're going to tell you guys when to buy it, and you can read all about the charities. We'll even put links up about the charities if it's going. 100% of the profits are going to charity. So we're really hoping you guys will buy a bunch of copies. Buy them now so that you have them for Christmas presents and, just gifts or whatever. And what was it that we said? If you buy 10 copies of the book, if you make an investment of about $150, I think it will be, and just to give out or do whatever you want with them, Jeff and I will each buy 10 copies as well, and give them out to schools or,
Well, no, what we actually said is that if they buy 10 copies I said if they send me proof that they bought 10 copies, that I would buy 10 copies, and I would do that up to 5 times. And then you agreed to that too. And to be clear, if they want us both to buy 10 copies, they're going to have to buy 20 copies.
Yes, that's right.
They have to buy 10 copies.
If you have 20 friends, buy 20 copies. And
if you have more than 20 friends, you should buy more than 20 copies. But you should do it on the day we say, and it can't be bought now because just like our show is constantly experiencing coronavirus-related troubles, the book is also experiencing that because the printer is unable to print right now because of whatever issue. But hopefully very, very soon it will be available. And we will let you know once that happens. So the book is actually amazing. I mean, it turned out really, really well. If you really feel like you need to do something like right now, you could go on BookWire, right? And you could rate the book. You could say, hey, this is great, and give us a 5-star rating. So far we have one of those.
That sounds dishonest, but
we're going to allow it because it's for charity.
You can even rank it 5 stars and then write, I was told by my friends, Jillian and Jeff, that this book is really good.
And I just shared that in the comments on most of the live streams right now, the link directly to the BookWire page, which is the only place it now appears, and you cannot buy it. But you can read all about it. You can read the description, see the cover, and that's it. So hopefully that's good enough for you because that's what we got.
Enough commercials.
That's right.
All right. So there was one other movie I wanted to.
We didn't even talk about my movies yet, or your movies really. So
the other movie I wanted to note that I've watched over and over and over again, and that you can watch with your children, not the ones I've already recommended you watch with your children, but is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I think that one is great for everybody and anybody. I again, another movie that I watched so much as a kid. I probably could talk about it. I could probably recite it.
So Pee-wee's Big Adventure is the one where he does the like dancing on the bar, right? With the
That's right.
Yeah. That was a really good one. Big Top Pee-wee, also good, I think. Like what movies I'm thinking about when I was a kid that I really liked was the ones with what was that guy in there? The Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Goes to Jail.
Yeah. I love those movies too.
Yeah.
Okay, so but all right, Jeff, we'll end it with this. What is the one movie you would tell everybody to watch over and over and over again? Since you see so many movies, you're like really the expert here.
Yeah, Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe.
Oh yeah.
Best movie I've ever seen. I always tell people it's the best movie that will ever be made. That's how confident I am. There'll never be a better movie than Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe. Now, I realize that's controversial, but it's only controversial to people who haven't seen it. Once you see it, you realize it's literally the best movie that will ever be made.
Okay, so it's all right. Now I feel like I have to share a drama, and my drama would be The Prestige.
Ooh, I do like The Prestige. The Prestige is so for people that haven't seen The Prestige, you should go out and see it because it's great, right? It has all these amazing elements in it, deception and intrigue and Nikola Tesla. It's got all this great stuff in it.
Yeah, well, Nikola Tesla is my favorite part because and if any of you don't know, my youngest child is named Nick. It's not Nicholas. He's named Nikola. He's named after Nikola Tesla. And so most of the time when somebody sees his name written, they think he's a girl because it's...
But that wasn't the one with Tesla in it, was it? It was the other one that came out at the same time, The Illusionist, that had Tesla in it.
The Prestige had Tesla in it, I'm pretty sure.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because, you're absolutely... It has such a great ending that I was confusing the two for a second. They're both really, really good. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, the Prestige is really good. So my wife's saying... she's arguing with me about... Cinderella Man. She thinks that Shawshank Redemption is better. Shawshank Redemption is probably in the top 5 movies I've ever seen. It's a great movie. I'm not taking away from it. Actually, on a quick side note on that, I mean, you might have noticed I have some books behind me. I really like Stephen King, and most people don't realize, but Stephen King was the author of Shawshank Redemption. So most people don't realize it. Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Green Mile.
Also another top 10 movie and also a Stephen King book. Yeah, it's really good. And then Kevin's bringing up this movie here.
I've never seen that one and I've always wanted to see it. So I'm going to have to put that on my list, Kevin. That's a good one.
Yeah. And Capote it really is a good movie. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman is amazing anyway.
Kevin, who wrote this comment, is also one of the authors in Coronavirus Collective. So we get to have his chapter. And Kevin's also going to be on the Facebook page teaching us some exercise tips on how to get a really fast, quick workout in. Also, you should go and check out our diet bet. It's not called Last Life Ever Diet Bet. It's called Quarren Fit. So go check that out if you're feeling like you haven't been doing a whole lot while you're in quarantine and you want to get back into the swing of things. Go to Diet Bet, put your $50 up. You're only competing with yourself, no one else.
That's right. And it started today, so you can still join and you're not very far behind. If you don't join soon, though, it's a 4-week bet, right? You have to lose 4% of your weight over a 4-week period. So if you wait like a week to join, because you can actually join for like another 10 days, but if you join 10 days from now, then you have to lose 4% of your total body weight in like a 2.5-week period, and that's very difficult. And, I personally noted that when I got on the scale for my weigh-in, I only have to lose enough weight to get back to what I weighed before the quarantine started, which is really depressing. And I was lamenting this to Jillian on one of our happy hours the other day. And what did you tell me?
That's the same thing for me.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
I only have to lose enough weight to get back to my pre-quarantine weight, which I don't know how I feel about any of this. Like, it's so funny. I go through these like things of like, oh, great, I only have to lose enough weight to be pre-quarantine wait. And then I go, I can't believe I did this to myself at the same time.
Oh, by the way, we have to jump back to movies for 1 second because we have two people that mention the same thing, which is Ernest Scared Stupid, which actually was a great movie. And Heidi is also one of the authors in the Quarantine Collective. You got nothing? You're just confused?
Yeah. But I'm so stupefied by Ernest Scared.
Yeah, no, I will tell you though, the thing about the Ernest movies is the best one was Ernest Goes to Jail when he gets electrified and turns into Electro Man and he can shoot like lightning bolts out of his fingertips. That was pretty amazing. That was basically the same plot as the Nick Cage, John Travolta movie Face Off. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but I think they stole it from Ernest Scared Stupid.
Okay, you have a lot of dumb information in your head. Do you have a dumb joke that you can depart with?
Yes, I do. So you might remember I asked last week or the week before, what is blue and smells like red paint?
Right.
One of my favorite jokes ever. So along that line, I found, by the way, in case people are wondering, the answer is red paint. Along that line, I came up with another joke, which is this. All right. What is orange and sounds like a parrot? You're muted, so you have to unmute.
No, I'm muting myself because my 5-year-old has insisted on coming and going from this room about.
No problem. So what's orange and smells like, and sounds like a parrot?
I would say an orange parrot.
A carrot.
That's horrible. But it was good because it was an animal joke, which is what we needed for our animal segment show that didn't happen.
It's true. I did come up with an animal joke.
We'll have Mike back, and we're gonna do that show. But so I also picked an animal joke. Okay. A guy spots a sign outside a house that reads "Talking Dog for Sale." Intrigued, he walks in. So what have you done with your life? He asks the dog. The dog replies, I've led a very full life. I've lived in the Alps rescuing avalanche victims. Then I served my country in Iraq. And now I spend my days reading at a retirement home. The guy is flabbergasted. He turns to the owner and asks, why on earth would you want to get rid of a dog like that? And the owner says, because he's a liar. He never did any of that.
That's really bad. That's really, really bad. I'm guessing that you think it's funny because the dog's talking.
It was good. That was a good joke.
I mean, I think if we were to take a poll right now, that I would probably win.
All right. Wow.
Although, by the way, for what it's worth, Jennifer agreed with your assessment.
An orange parrot. Oh,
yes. So maybe that would have been a better answer. I don't know. But I do know this. Next week on The Last Life Ever, we're going to have a guest that has internet that works. I'm determined to make sure that next week we have a guest with working internet.
Here's the thing. I think I know who the guest is next week. Can you just have him come over to your house and we can do it that way?
He lives in Michigan.
Never mind. Oh yeah, I've seen him on Happy Hour. I don't know why.
But no, his internet. So people are saying the dog joke was funnier and that you win.
Nice.
And by the way, that's 3-0 in favor of you right now. So he's been on Happy Hour with us, and if you guys haven't joined us for Happy Hour, you should definitely do that sometime. We do it every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Coast. And if you're in the group, you can just kind of jump in there and there'll be a link to the Zoom. But anyway, since he's been on Happy Hour, we know his internet's stable. It worked for him on Happy Hour. So,
yes.
So presumably it will be fine.
We're going to probably, here's the thing, guys. We're probably going to be winding down Happy Hour soon. And we really want you to come and participate because I've gotten some of the best relationships during Happy Hours. I can't speak highly enough of the Happy Hours. It's not anything that you would think at all. Last night we talked about one of our regulars talked about her experience in Argentina, living in Argentina during the Argentinian Revolution. It was an amazing story that she talked about, her parents being from El Salvador and being from Argentina, and her life growing up. And that was what we talked about. That was the discussion we had on Happy Hour. So Happy Hour is nothing what you expect. And then the night before, my friend Sarah was on, and my friend Melody was on, and Melody was driving to Mississippi and telling us how she was driving to Mississippi. And Sarah was telling us all kinds of other stuff on how to like make ginger shots and things like that. So, we don't make any money off our happy hours. We just think they are very fulfilling at a time that we're not all getting a ton of stimulation. So if you need that kind of stimulation, please come join us.
Yeah, and we were committed to do that for we originally decided on 15 days, and now it's been like 5 weeks of every single day. And so we're going to wind down, because with like stuff opening back up, we can't justify just going on every single night and hang out. But it's been so great. I think we need to do like a regular weekly happy hour for a while, even when we wind down a little bit, because there's so many people I've met that I feel like they're like my good friends now, because I've seen them every night for 5 weeks. And, sometimes somebody pops in once and then they don't come back, or they come back once every 2 or 3 days or whatever. Like Heidi, when she came, we were playing apparently Cards Against Humanity. By the way, I think that the perfect note to end on is this right here.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and join us for next week when we will have a guest. And honestly, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jillian Sidoti.
I'm Jeffrey Holst, and this is Last Life Ever.